Okay, so today we're going to look at another poem from the Edexcel anthology, the relationship section, I Wanna Be Yours by John Cooper Clarke. This is a very popular one with students because it's quite easy. It strikes you initially as a very simple poem and quite easy to remember quotes from. Also, students tend to engage with it quite well because of the different images within it and the deep bit in it, which everyone likes. So John Cooper Clarke, I guess he could be known as a punk poet. A lot of his lyrics set to music by him. So a lot of these songs were designed to be sung. Poems were designed to be sung. After all, a song is only a poem set to music. And this song was fairly recently, also this poem rather, was fairly recently set to music by the Arctic Monkeys and performed. So it's kind of reached a new audience. We also know that John Cooper Clarke took drugs. So, in the context of that, there's some of the kind of craziness of that in the language here, and perhaps almost some language of addiction, as if he's addicted to the person. But, that's just a little interpretation, something you can put about context. Okay, so first of all, let's start with structure. And as usual, I'm going to make the purple pen be the structure pen. So the structure of I Want to Be Yours. Well, of course, at first, it has no capitalization in the whole thing and no punctuation. So even in the title, there's no capitalization for those proper nouns. Sorry, not proper nouns because it's a title. And no punctuation either, which isn't that unusual for a poem. As we all know, poems aren't expected to follow the normal rules of grammar, they are structured for effect. But this is still a poem which doesn't follow the normal rules of society. My pen isn't working very well. Excuse me for a moment. No capitalization, no. Ain't technology wonderful? Punctuation, I don't know why it's not working very well. Anyway, you can write that bit yourself. You know how to spell punctuation, I hope. Also, because there's no punctuation, there's a lot of enjambment in this particular poem, meaning the sense flows over to the next line here. Let me be your vacuum cleaner breathing in your dust. There's a sense of pace, very fast paced here, which adds to the kind of excited and passionate tone of the poem. And also it links all these images together. It is set out in a structure of sorts. There's 3 stanzas there, although they're all of differing lengths. So you could say there's an irregular stanza structure there. Does it have a rhyme scheme? Cleaner, dust, Cortina, rust. Well, yeah, that's quite strong. A, B, A, B. Hot, pot, shots, yours. So I'd say that's A, B, A, B, C, 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 D for the rhyme scheme, but that's not throughout. Coat, days, boat, always, bear, where, care, yours. In fact, that does continue with a regular rhyme for the first 2 stanzas. So the rhyme is regular, first 2 stanzas. Is it regular in the second? Meter out, heater without. There's A, B, A, B again. Lotion, hair, devotion. Then there's a CDC. And then deep, ocean, emotion, deep, hers, yours. So the rhyme goes irregular in the 3rd stanza. It turns more irregular as it goes on, so towards the end. Of course, you can link that to a relationship that might start off all sweet and nice and then get a bit more complicated as it goes on towards the end. You know how to spell end. Okay, so looking at this a little bit deeper in terms of language, their structure, we can see that really this is a series of metaphors. You could say there's an extended metaphor of everyday objects, and you can link it to Valentine in that way, that all these objects are quite humdrum, as we say, everyday, normal things. Perhaps not the kind of thing that you would associate with a lover. So it is similar to Valentine in that way, that I give you an onion. All these things are certainly things that you wouldn't necessarily call, or especially in traditional love poetry, you wouldn't compare your lover to a coffee pot or an electric heater. So let me be your vacuum cleaner, breathing in your dust. Each series of these images, we have to think, what does he mean in terms of a relationship here? So this is a metaphor here. Breathing in your dust, he wants to consume her totally, even the dust of her. He wants to consume her. But does it also have a drug reference within it? Breathing in your dust, perhaps like she is his cocaine, that kind of thing. She is his addiction. Let me be your Ford Cortina, I would never rust. Again, that's not a glamorous car, but it is reliable. That's what he's saying he'll be for her. He'll never rust. He's saying he'll never get old, but also he'll never get faulty, etc., etc. If you like your coffee hot, let me be your coffee pot. You call the shots. So here we have an image of heat, which links to passion. You have a coffee is like a pick-me-up. It's kind of excitement because you've got, again, a drug in there, caffeine. So you've got a kind of little drug reference in there again. Also, the heat and passion thing implies some kind of like sexual intimacy there. You call the shots. I want to be yours. Here, he gives his lover the power. You call the shots, gives her the power. That in itself is a metaphor, isn't it? But it's also an idiom. We say that a lot. Who calls the shots? But it implies perhaps danger, that somebody might get killed. I want to be yours. Also, obviously, this informal language here shows the kind of casual nature of their relationship. Casual nature. Maybe not in terms of faithfulness, as in casual nature of their relationship, but just that they're easy with each other, as in, you know, comfortable with each other. Okay, let me be. Also, the let me be, obviously there's anaphora here. Anaphora, repetition of a phrase, not just a word. So anaphora here in let me be. He's asking her permission. So all the time he asks her permission. He won't do anything without her permission. Again, that's giving his lover the power there. Asking permission here. Okay, the second stanza, let me be your raincoat for those frequent rainy days. He acknowledges the amount of rain in their relationship, i.e. sadness. Acknowledges the bad times, but he will protect her by being the raincoat. Let me be your dream boat when you want to sail away. So he will be her escape as well. But this is kind of a euphemism because a dreamboat is also a good looking guy. Oh, he's such a dreamboat, they used to say. So he will save her, like sail her away, let her escape. Let me be your teddy bear, take me with you anywhere, I don't care. So again, this is kind of a more cuddly reference than the coffee pot reference. Cuddly, cute, and comforting. All of these things we associate with teddy bears, but also something you want to hold. So there is the physical element there as well. And then again, I want to be yours. You could call this a refrain because it keeps being repeated throughout the poem. On to the last verse. Let me be your electric meter. I will not run out. This is when This is in the times when we used to have electric meters. Give me 1 second because this is glitching. Okay, we're back. Electric meter meant that you didn't pay your gas and electricity bill every month or sending a check off or whatever, you literally have a meter on the wall you have to put money into. If you haven't got money to put into it, your electricity gets cut off. So he's saying he will not run out. So he provides her with electricity, which is something essential. So he provides her with the essentials. And also, of course, you've got the connotation of heat, light, and excitement, that electricity. So there's the passion element back there as well. Let me be the electric heater you get cold without. Again, that's similar. It has the electric theme in it, and it has like the coffee pot thing. Let me be your setting lotion. Hold your hair with deep devotion. Setting lotion is something they put on if you're having a perm or something to hold the curl in place. It's kind of like hairspray, but lasts longer. But also there's that hold your hair with deep devotion. There's the alliteration there to bring attention to those. It slows down you saying it. Let me be your setting lotion. Hold your hair with deep devotion. You're almost forced to slow down here. It slows the pace with the alliteration and shows how caring he is, wanting to hold her hair. Again, that's quite a romantic thing as well. Deep devotion. And then he repeats that word deep, deep as the deep Atlantic Ocean. That's how deep is my emotion. And then everyone's favourite bit, deep, 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 the deep, deep. I always say this is like a heart monitor beeping away and then missing a beat, almost the deep, deep. You've got an irregular heartbeat because the person's making your heart beat so strongly like that. Deep as the deep Atlantic Ocean as well. This is a simile rather than a metaphor. Deep as the Atlantic Ocean. It's quite a common image for poetry, I guess, that my love is as deep as the ocean, but he makes it kind of different with the repetition and the deep, 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 deep to deep, deep thing. And then he flips around the refrain, which has been I want to be yours at the end of each and the title as well. Even though he does say it at the end, he says, I don't want to be hers before he says it this time, I want to be yours. Now, there's a range of interpretations that you could have for this, and it's up to you. Sorry, my phone's going off. And it's up to you which one you choose. So perhaps he means that he's been caught having an affair and he's reiterating to his lover he doesn't want to be that person's. He's asking forgiveness. I want to be yours. Or perhaps it means he doesn't want to be hers, just some other her somewhere else, some unknown her. He doesn't want to be anybody else's. He just wants to be yours, the person that he's writing the poem to. There's possibly, you could even say, if you're going down the route of the euphemism for drug addiction here, that he's talking about her mistress, as in the drugs. He doesn't want to be under the influence of drugs. He just wants to be with his lover. He wants to be yours again.